Okay, my friends of the chat, this is one last one for yours truly, so let's end it off spectacularly with some epic folding shenanigans of Manifold Garden with Nerds Squared. Good luck and have fun.
All right, hello everyone. I just want to mention real quick, if you thought you were going to get a break from the Halo 2 run that just happened a second ago and the craziness that happened with that, you are sorely mistaken, because this game is just as confusing. I'll go to the main menu. Yep, I'm going to go to the main menu real quick here so we can do introductions. First off, I want to mention or explain the game. This is Manifold Garden. It's a bit of an interesting puzzle game. If you've played games like Antechamber or Nicency, it's a little like those games where it involves some exploration and puzzles and impossible geometry type levels. And it's pretty fun speedrun as well. Real quick, I'm Nerd Squared, and joining me on my virtual couch is going to be Forb, who is top level speedrunner of this game, holds world record in many categories. In fact, just a few hours ago, he got the world record in the no wall clip equivalent of this category.
Kind of crazy.
That's pretty nice. Yep. And yeah, I think that's just about it. Although there is one other thing I want to explain. So you might have noticed there when I was loading in, or when I loaded in, I was like in that little area. Before the run started, I set up a couple of keybinds, or one keybind, yeah. What the keybind I set does is it'll let me take a screenshot of the game window, which is important for one of the main glitches that we'll be doing. And also, I'm going to start from a fresh file here instead of like overwriting a save, because it makes some of the glitches work a little better. It just helps make the glitches a bit more consistent because, well, the glitches in this game are pretty consistent. As we'll explain, there is a luck-based element to it. So starting from a fresh save just helps alleviate the luck with that. I think with that, we're pretty much good to go if tech is ready for a countdown. All right, so we will go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, let's go.
So right off the bat, Manifold Garden is like a non-Euclidean geometry MC Etcher inspired world where the core mechanic is that you control gravity to 6 of the main directions, which are all associated to 6 of the main colors of the game. So what Nerd's going to do throughout this run is plant 6 of the main god cubes, which are kind of like the core elements of this game, because what you do with these god cubes is you plant them in the main central hub, and you kind of create your own garden. And that's why the game is called Manifold Garden. So, as you can see, this game gets very hectic because when you can control gravity kind of just like at your own whim, some of the routes and kind of tricks that you're going to see get a little complicated. Because not only do you have to deal with platforming, moving sideways, you also have to deal with kind of climbing walls and kind of just moving around.
Yeah, I actually made a little mistake there. I accidentally forgot to gravity flip, so it threw off my movement a little bit. Just had a brain fart.
So one neat thing about this game, though, is that everything infinitely repeats. So even if you like fall off, you don't have to like reload from a save or anything. You could just fall straight down and land exactly where you were before.
Exactly,
yeah. About speedrunning.
Yeah, exactly. It makes this game very beginner friendly, and I'd say it's a pretty good first speedrun. And if the wall clips are a little intimidating, which we'll explain in a bit, there is a no wall clip category, which is kind of like an alternative subcategory for this.
Now's the perfect time to explain wall clips. So what Nerd's doing is that you take a cube, and literally any cube, pretty much any cube in the game will work.
Yeah.
You move, kind of back yourself against a wall. You can either angle yourself slightly away, and then you kind of position the player, you move them slightly outwards, and then when you place down the cube, what happens is that they kind of occupy the same space, and that can't happen in the game or even Unity at all. So what happens is that the cube just pushes you straight through the wall.
Right. So, yeah, we're going to do that a lot throughout the run because, of course, this is a puzzle game, as I explained at the start, but we hardly do any puzzles in this run. There's like 2 that we do as intended. I just grabbed our first dark seed there. The dark seeds are what actually allow us to get the god cubes by planting them in these trees. And we're going to see our first instance of a mandala here. This is kind of our reward for completing the puzzle of each area, and this is what actually activates the god cubes. Pretty nice to look at. It's technically faster by about 50 seconds to skip this cutscene by grabbing the god cube early by doing a glitch that we'll explain later, but I decided to not do it just so we'd have time to explain things, because as we kind of alluded to at the start, this game is pretty hectic.
Yeah, so might as well explain flating now too. So one of the original glitches of the game is called flating. The original term was flailing like an idiot technology, and the original strat, you just shook your mouse at a wall and hope you bring a cube through. It kind of just worked, and we didn't know why.
Yeah.
So about a year and a half ago, we discovered that creating an instance where you lag the game, you can bring cubes through walls pretty easily. So what Nerd said at the beginning was that he keybinded screenshot to one of his keys, and then if you time it right, you can just screenshot and lag the game and bring the cube straight through the wall.
You also noticed I was walking on air there just a second ago. That is not a glitch, believe it or not. What's actually happening there is after you get a god cube, you plant it in these trees that then grows the garden that Forb was talking about in the center hub world. And once you do that, a path forms in front of you. It's all fancy looking and whatnot, but the collision for that pathway forms or exists in the game the instant you plant the god cube in the tree. So you can just walk up to the pathway and kind of guess to find where the button is. It's obviously a little tough though because it does involve a lot of blind movement, and we don't quite have a consistent lineup yet for where to find the buttons. There are a couple of good indicators though. When you're near an interactable object like this cube, the cursor will have some octagons appear around it and it'll change color. So you can use that to tell where the button is.
You'll see that blind movement pretty much throughout the whole game, even to the very end. So getting used to it is just par for the course.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just something you gotta get a feel for.
Where Nerd's heading into now is that he's gonna kind of smuggle a cube through him. He's gonna solve this puzzle in a semi-intended way, and then he's gonna smuggle this cube out of this room.
Oh no.
And then bring it with him throughout this next room so that he can just clip straight through the wall and then skip having to walk through a bunch of corridors.
Yeah. So something to note about wall clips, by the way, since we explained it earlier, they're a little inconsistent. They work most of the time, but there's some stipulations with them. How long they take to actually clip you through is... I won't say it's dependent on RNG, but it can vary how long it takes for each wall clip. Because sometimes the wall clips can happen instantly, like you might have seen a few times, or they can take as long as 20 seconds. It's kind of just up to the game how long the clips take. Which is a little annoying because there's a glitch I'm going to do in a second that involves wall clipping, and it's the glitch I alluded to earlier that I avoided doing in blue, where I grabbed the blue god cube. So wall or trees that the trees rather that are holding the god cubes are just like any other wall in the game. You can clip through them, but it's a little more inconsistent. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to clip into the wall, or not clip into the wall, but clip into the tree. And if I do it right, I'll be able to grab the god cube from inside the tree. Half the battle though is
It's a very RNG dependent glitch because half the battle is trying to get inside the tree. Because when you save and load, there's a chance, we don't know exactly why it works, it just kind of does, but when you save and load, something happens in your positioning and you're able to clip kind of precisely inside the tree Because if
Sometimes,
you're too
sometimes
far
that
out,
can happen too, where like you save a mode to attempt the clip again, and you just get pushed back while loading, because why
there you
not?
go. Yeah, you just kind of got pushed back
Yeah. So now
directly
I'm
where you
going
wanted to go.
to. Oh yeah. So now I'm going to try to grab the God cube from within the tree here. There we go. It's as precise as it looks. We don't know just how precise it is, but we believe it to be pretty close to pixel perfect. It just kind of depends on which angle you clip into the tree, how precise it is.
Yeah. The one sad thing about these tree clips is that they're kind of precise, but they also save a lot of time.
Yeah, they save around 7 to 8 minutes over old strats, so we definitely have to do them. Yeah, this glitch and another one we'll see later revolutionized this game in every single category. It's kind of crazy.
So now that we're out of the second area, what Nerd's gonna do right here is the first instance of what we call a save load or a save warp, either one. And when you save your game, your coordinates are like stored as an X, Y, and a Z value. And when you stand in front of a door, like say the front of it, both the area behind you and the area in front of the door are loaded in. So when you load in front of the door, your positioning is kind of offset of where you just were, and you're kind of just warped behind the door.
Yeah.
That'll be used way down the road in the end of the run to do, I don't want to say a massive sequence break, but it's a treat. just stay tuned.
Yeah, something we haven't mentioned yet is that this game was actually ran at GDQ before. It was ran a year and a half ago at AGDQ 2020, where Gilly ran any percent. And the game has changed a lot since then, as you can tell, if you watch that run. Because a lot of new tech was introduced that, again, just revolutionized this game and saved a bunch of time. Alright. Oh, come on, I saw the cursor. Come on. There we go. So this is green, or the green God cube, rather. This one in particular is pretty nice in terms of the tree clips. Like, it's usually pretty nice to us. What's not nice, though, is bringing the cube through the tree, or through the portal, I mean, with the flate. Because a lot of the time, when I do this flate, the cube tends to get stuck on that portal entrance. You'll notice there at the end of the portal, there's kind of that area with the white border. If the cube gets caught in that region, the game doesn't know what to do with the cube's positioning. So it just ends up teleporting the cube to the origin of the map, which is always a fun time. And if that happens, it's best to just go to the backside of the portal and portal save warp back to the entrance of the portal to try again.
It's very
And
unfortunate.
also, yeah. Also, wall clips work on doors too, so we can just go right through that door. It works a little differently though, because well, Forb can explain it actually.
Yeah, so door clips are a little weird because whereas wall clips, if you clip into the wall, you kind of just get pushed all the way through it. Door clips, you kind of get stuck halfway in between. So if you clip inside of a door, partly inside, you have to have a wall surrounding you that you can gravity flip out of. Because gravity flips not only change the direction of gravity, they also teleport you to the location that you clicked at. So by clicking through the door, you can kind of just teleport straight through it.
Yeah. Forb was talking about earlier about how you could recover pretty easily from mistakes. I made a little movement mistake there. I meant to gravity flip on the stairs I was walking down, but I ended up gravity flipping on one of the pillars instead. But the nice thing about that is because the levels in this game are so expansive and you're pretty much free to interact with whatever you want. You have backups basically everywhere in the map that you could think of.
Yeah, even if you fall, you can just grab a previous platform or fall for like another 5 seconds and then be right back at where you were.
Yeah, that is an annoying time loss though, because if it's like a particularly big area with not many platforms, you're just stuck falling there for a while and you lose a lot of time.
So where Nerd's gonna enter soon in about a minute is the yellow area, and it's notorious for being very, very inconsistent.
Yeah.
Yellow can take upwards of 3 minutes, so if he's unlucky, stay tuned.
Yeah, if we're unlucky here, we might go over estimate. I'm just warning you guys ahead of time.
It's that just crazy, because green and red, as you saw, were like not even a minute combined. And then
Yeah.
yellow, who knows?
Yeah. Speaking of, because this clip upcoming is so infamous, I want to do a quick game in the chat, if you guys can, to keep track of how many times I failed this, just so we can get a tally by the end. Because, like, I think the
Yeah.
worst I've ever had in practice is around 18 tries for this clip.
And he doesn't mean 18 attempts as going inside the tree. He means 18 times he had to save and then reload to even get a
Yeah.
chance of getting inside the tree.
Yeah. And again, getting into the tree is half the battle, because you'll notice when I'm inside the tree, I like hover my cursor over where I think the God Cube is going to be, or where I can grab the God Cube. While I'm doing that, I'm actually lightly tapping the spacebar, which I have bound to my interact key, mainly for flating, but I also use it to grab the God Cube while in the tree. And I can, by pure accident, just accidentally let go of the cube, and when you do that, the cube just goes back into the tree and pushes you out.
Yeah, it's kind of like a one and done deal. If you miss it and accidentally let go of the God Cube, you get pushed straight out, and you gotta do
Yep.
you gotta do it all over again.
Yeah, that's one, by the way. Okay. Generally, what I'm going to do here, that's two. Generally, what I'm going to do here is I'll give the clip a few tries, and then save and load to hopefully get better odds of clipping. And actually, while we're trying this clip, this would be a good point to read a few donations, because this might take a while.
Absolutely no problem whatsoever. Well, we got some donations as we are coming down from the Halo 2 run, if you don't mind.
That's all right.
And, alright, cool. Princesses Celestia and Luna gives $50 saying, "You are truly a mythical baker, Mono. HaloRuns.com and Halo 2 form, RIP, will dine gloriously. Oh, and Master Chief, do you mind telling me what you're doing on that station? Sir, protecting trans rights." A T-Rex gives $25 from my son. Love Halo. Super cool that you are beating it so quickly. Love all the amazing glitches you are using.
All right, so
Anonymous gives... Oop.
No, you can keep going.
Okay. Anonymous gave $5 saying, "Great job on the epic trick, dude."
So as you saw there, he got yellow. Kind of, I don't want to say that was too bad, because for yellow standards, that was kind of fast.
Yeah. I lost count after 5. We'll just assume I got 10 tries there. So the next couple of areas after this are going to be, so far I've had pretty slow areas. Yellow in particular was like probably 4 minutes, maybe 6, considering how long the clip took there. But these next couple of areas are actually going to be pretty fast. They're the shortest areas, because they're the shortest areas in the entire run. They take like 4 minutes combined.
Yep, the final 2 areas are going to be purple, and then you're going to see orange near the end.
There we go.
And they are kind of just like, boom, you're in, you're out, trying to get to the end.
Yeah, it's a nice breath of fresh air after having to deal with yellow. Yellow is the biggest source of resets, even with normal strats. Because I've actually been avoiding a couple of... I avoided the first God Cube clip earlier, and I'm going to avoid one at the end, just because of reasons I'll explain later. And that adds around 2 minutes onto the run, roughly.
So, in this purple area, Nerd may, look like he may kind of know where he's going, but learning this game, it's really complicated. Because as you can see, it kind of just looks like it goes on infinitely. One challenge of running this game is that you can get lost very easily.
Yeah.
Even experienced players will kind of forget what cube they're supposed to bring through, or where they're supposed to go. So, biggest challenge is definitely by far knowing what to do.
Yeah. That doesn't count, by the way, for the save load thing we were doing earlier. We're past yellow now. But yeah, as Forb was saying, you can get lost pretty easily in this game. This, by the way, this game originally came out on the Epic Game Store, and then it got re-released on Steam, as well as on consoles. Across both the Epic and Steam releases, I have about 200 hours into the game, and even after all that time spent with this game, I still get lost sometimes.
Especially
This is-
some of the
especially-
more,
Yeah.
what was you saying? Some of the more kind of hidden categories. Like, there's
Yeah.
one category called 0%, where you get 0 God cubes throughout the whole game. That has you juggle 3 cubes throughout, like, half of the game, and you bring them
Yeah.
with you the whole time.
And then there's like reverse tree order, which is basically this category, but as the name implies, getting all the cubes in the reverse order. And there's some really, like, you get it after a few attempts of doing the route, but like there's some really clever usage of the hidden paths in the game, which is a new thing actually. The secret path that we're alluding to was added in the recent patch of the game, and I say recent, but it was like a year ago. It was added in a fairly recent patch, and that secret path being added in really opened up the routing for this game. As Forb said, there's a 0% category, but there's also reverse tree order, and it's like really. It even ended up spawning a couple of categories where we can use the secret passageway, which we refer to as the Garnier hallway, to skip straight to the end of the game from the very beginning.
The fastest run of this game is, I think, I have a 2-minute run of this game going through the secret end.
Yeah.
So it gets really fast.
Yep. Also, we just did a puzzle there, somewhat. You're supposed to do a puzzle here where you manipulate water by using the cubes, and you move water a bunch of different directions, and you eventually get to the outside of this tower where you use a cube to activate those lasers I just activated there, and then you get the dark seed. But we just skipped straight to the end of the puzzle. It's fine.
You clipped.
We technically
right
did
out
solve the
wall.
puzzle. Yep. We technically did solve the puzzle. We just skipped like 9 steps of it. And as Forb said, all cubes in the game behave like normal cubes. And that includes dark seeds, so we can use the dark seed to clip there. And we don't do a tree clip here because it's not at all faster. It technically is if you get it first try, but even then it would only save like 5 or 10 seconds. So that's the last mandala you'll see in the, well, it's not the last one, but it's the last area before the ending section of the game, which we refer to as World 800. So far, the areas in this run have pretty much boiled down to get to the end of the area, clip into the tree at the end, provided it plays nice, and then you steal the God Cube from within. But with World 800, it works a little differently. The puzzles are presented in a much linear fashion up to the ending puzzle. So we can't just skip straight to the end. But we do have wall clips up our sleeve, of course. And there's two tricks in particular that I want you to keep an eye out for, because they're really cool. And they're probably my favorite tricks in this entire run, out of any category. To start with, in this room, we have a pretty fun strat. So you're supposed to grab some cubes off this tree to redirect some water to grow another tree, which you would then use to get to the end of the puzzle, but you can just kind of climb that tree like a jungle gym and get to the end of the puzzle that way.
Unintended solutions. Even if we're not breaking the game by clipping directly out of bounds, break the puzzles themselves.
Yeah, there's still pretty fun ways you can break the puzzles, yeah. These next couple of rooms are going to be pretty straightforward because they're the same old wall clips I've been doing this whole run. So I'm going to go ahead and explain a trick that we kind of alluded to at the beginning when we explained wall clips. Or not wall clips, but save warps. I fell there. That's alright, saved it. Sort of? There we go. So the trick that I'm referring to is something we call line theory. It's going to be a save warp like I've been doing this whole run, but it's a little more powerful than the other save warps. Because with the other save warps, we just teleport a couple feet or so to get past doors. But with this one, we're going to try to skip an entire room. And it involves a very particular setup that I hope I don't mess up, because it's going to be very embarrassing if I do. Just have to clip this wall first. There we go.
I hate to
So you can just walk up the
interrupt,
side
but
there. It's pretty nice.
The setup for this line theory is very complicated. I had to do a lot of math for this.
Yeah,
Which,
hence why it's called line theory.
yep.
I think that's correct.
Yeah.
We'll see in a second.
I apologize for quickly interrupting, but there is this one donation that, if I could...
In a second, once we get this trick.
Alright.
Yep. So I'm gonna do that specific visual cue there, and I'm gonna make a save once I hit that visual cue. I'm going to go over here and load the save next to this door. And if all goes well, we'll end up on the complete other side of the room that's behind this door. If everything goes right.
Everything goes right.
Yep. Load can be really long sometimes, though. Okay. So the load being a little long there is kind of frightening because you can get something in this game called an infinite load, where sometimes when you load the game, whether it's loading a save or going to the main menu, the game can just get stuck when loading and just be stuck on the load screen forever. If that did happen there, it would just close out of the game and reloaded.
And then, you ready for the donation?
Yeah, we can go ahead.
So, I got a question. How do you pronounce the developer's name?
I don't know. Why don't you
Well,
read it
I
out?
don't
Let
want to
me-
butcher your name.
I do apologize for butchering this potentially, but we got a $250 donation from William Kyer saying, "Hello, SGDQ. This is the Manifold Garden team wishing Nerd Squared the best of luck. Thank you for speedrunning Manifold Garden, and thank you to the GDQ organizers. Also, congrats to Tempest Mask on the world record? We're thrilled to have our game at this event and to be supporting Doctors Without Borders. Thank you so much, but I'm sorry, did I get a world record? I do not recall this."
You did in our hearts.
Aw,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah. So that room we just went through, by the way, is a pretty infamous room in the Manifold Garden community. We refer to it as 806 because that's the name of the level code for that room. The reason it's so infamous is because for the longest time, we didn't have a way of getting past that room. We were kind of just stuck doing it as intended. But over the years, since the game came out in late 2019, we found ways to get past that door. Before we did it with a wall clip through the door, and that's the fastest way to do it, but you can also do a save warp past that door. One stipulation with save warps that we haven't mentioned yet is it has to be on the back side of the door. You can't do it anywhere else on the door. Okay, that was weird. You have to do it on the back side of the door. So if you're next to a door that's blocked on either side, you can't save warp off of it, and you have to clip through it instead if you want to get past it. Or just do the puzzle, but that's slow. This is the other area that I'm going to avoid doing a tree clip on. In a normal run, we would do a tree clip here as well. But I'm going to avoid it for a particular reason. Also, let's see if this cutscene breaks.
There's
Nope,
a
it didn't
60%
break.
chance. Hey,
Yeah.
there's a 60% chance that cutscene will just utterly break if you save in load
Yeah.
to skip like the 45-second long cutscene of the lasers activating.
Yeah, what happens if it breaks is that the mandala just ends up a little off screen, and you see like the bottom of it. Yeah, we have 2 last tricks up our sleeve here.
Do you think now's a
Yeah.
good time for some donations? We got, what, like 6
Yeah.
long hallways we gotta walk down?
Yeah, we have time for about 3 donations here before we come up to the next trick.
Perfecto. Let's see here. Afro Thunder gives $15 saying, "Shout out to my boys Forb and Nerd Squared. Y'all are doing great." Shawnee7188 gives $10. "Loving the run. Donation goes to Nerd's Choice." Nunu gives $40. "Great to see puzzle game like that at GDQ." Kieran Conway gives $5. "I bought Manifold Garden after seeing it run at a previous GDQ and I enjoyed it immensely. Happy to see it run again."
So the trick is right here, similarly to the runways after every God Cube. I hope that was right. Similar to the runways after every God Cube, there's a big building that forms here, but you can land on it early if you know where the geometry spawns in. So we just do a blind drop there. And I use a specific cue where I like count to 2 and let go of my movement keys to land on that spot. And there's one last trick right here. It's a little particular, as you can see. Basically, I'm going to do a precise set of gravity flips to get past the trigger that will prevent me from flipping gravity in this last area. There we go. Saves around 28 seconds compared to just going along the runway. And there used to be an older method for that, but it's around 14 seconds slower.
Yeah. So as he's falling, he's basically in one long cutscene until the end. So
Yeah.
big shoutouts to the Manifold Garden team, William Cheers,
Yep.
everyone involved for creating this game. It's an amazing game.
Yeah. Yeah, take it from me, a speedrunner who spent 200 hours on this. I also really quickly want to shout out the Manifold Garden speedrunners. Obviously, there's Forb, who's commentating here, but I also want to shout out Gelly, who debuted this game at GDQ a year and a half ago, and Preshing, who is one of the old glitch hunters and strat finders for this game. Time is going to be in a second when the kaleidoscope appears here after we fade from black. Time.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then watch as this ending cutscene absolutely obliterates the bitrate.
Yep. This game, especially in this ending sequence, is a big bitrate killer. Real quickly, what was the time, by the way? 2010. Very nice. I was worried because the clip in yellow that was going to go over estimate, but we ended up underestimate by a couple minutes, which is nice.
Pretty good.
Yep.
And then also, I'd like to shout out Vasher and Leoxerith, two of the more prominent speedrun community members. They've been here pretty much the whole time, helping develop routes and glitches. So huge shout outs to them.
Yeah. So I know we did all those fancy tricks at the end, and that's all fun and good, right? Actually, I lied. There's one more. So a thing about this ending is that you can pause during it. That's fine. Nothing big with that. But you can save the game while this ending is playing, and if you load that save, some funky things happen. Yeah, we kind of broke the ending. So what happens here is that the entire ending that we just watched, it plays in front of that little colored area you saw me fly past, and you're just stuck looking at that area until the ending finishes. Basically, that whole kaleidoscope that we went through changes into this like weird 5-dimensional shape that gradually degrades into simpler and simpler shapes, which then leads to the credits. And unfortunately, at this point, we're soft locked. We can't actually see the ending. That's nice to look here. Get a nice sea of black. But yeah, I think that's about it for us. Thank you guys for watching.
That's Manifold Garden.
Yep.
Thank you so much for that epic Manifold Garden run. That was pretty dang cool. That was Nerd Squared, and goodness, what a way to start the night. I would say, at least start the night in my sense of the vision or whatnot. But I think my vision is now broken from having seen that run. Alas, if you're still with me, chat, we got a $25 donation from Starrod Kirby 86 saying, "Goodness, this game is always such an artistic treat to watch. How are the clips even so aesthetically pleasing and ASMR inducing? You're rocking this run, Nerd Squared." And Cassie gives $25 saying, "This one goes out to my dear colleague Adrian, with whom I get hyped watching GDQ for several years now. Thank you guys for the amazing time." All right. guys, gals, and non binary pals, we're going to send it on over to our good friend Sent for some more prizes and all that like. So, Sent, take it away.
Always happy to take it away. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick Online 2021. And as mentioned, my name is Sent. I'm here to tell you all about some of the amazing prizes that you can win by donating throughout the marathon. And now is a great time to donate because Return to Castle Wolfenstein is your last chance to get in on the current prize block we have. A $25 minimum donation is going to get you entered into everything I'm about to talk about. Now, before I get started, I want to be perfectly honest. I had an entire anecdote with a punchline and a joke, planned out, ready to go. But the strangest thing happened to me on the way to the forum. No, on the way back to my house. I came inside the door and was greeted with a pretty strange sight. It was this cat. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, Sent, that's a pretty cute cat. Why is that strange? I don't own a cat. I don't know what this cat is, and I don't know why this cat was in my house, but it seemed very friendly. Meowed at me a few times, rubbed up against my legs, walked around the house a bit, explored the place, found all of the boxes I unpacked from SGDQ and played in them for a little while, and then eventually I had no idea what to do. I was kind of freaking out, like, oh man, there's just a cat with no collar. It's in my house. What do I do? So I sat down for a prize segment, and the cat, much like my internet, just decided to leave. I figured, you know what? That's probably par for the course. They'll be back for Wolfenstein, and at least one of them was. A dumb tish. Anyway, there are so many great prizes that you can donate in order to be eligible to win. Let's talk about a few of my favorites here. So from Doikum, we have these lovely Unova starter Pokemon here. You got Oshawott. Everyone loves Oshawott. Super awesome water starter. How could you not love it? You got Snivy, like Serperior, one of the coolest grass-type Pokemon there is out there. And of course, you got Tepig. I mean, it's Tepig. All the Embor fans out there are very mad right now, and you know what? They deserve to be. I'm sorry, Tepig. I'm sorry. $15 minimum donation for the set of 3 of them. They are absolutely adorable. Thank you so much to Doikum for sending those out to us. Just gonna set those down on the floor there. From Chew, we have this absolutely beautiful poster of Reshiram and Zekrom. I am a huge fan of Chew's work. All of the stuff that they produce and have produced over the past few years has been absolutely amazing. Big picture of it there right in front of my face. You can check it out. It is such a dynamic print. You got Zekrom in the sky with lightning striking. You got Reshiram on the ground with the fire rising up. It's kind of like a metallic holographic print too. So it's really shiny and bright. And all of those bright blues and bright reds are just going to pop out right at you. $15 minimum donation. Thank you so much to Chew for sending that out to us. It looks absolutely amazing. From Ashley Bram, we have an adorable Pokeball amigurumi. I got to show it off earlier. I got to play with it. It's a hand-knit Pokeball around a really hard core. So it's solid enough for you to kind of play with, to kind of throw around. It's going to keep its shape, keep its substance, and it's just super cool. It's only a $5 minimum donation. Get those donations in. Like I said, a $25 donation is going to get you entered into all of the prizes I'm going to talk about here. Now, I know everyone else out there loves Eevee because I certainly love Eevee. And from Carolyn Brown, we have this absolutely adorable Eevee painting here. It's titled on the back, actually, When I Grow Up. And I love that title for it because you got the sleeping Eevee on the ground there, surrounded by all of the different evolutions. I don't know what your favorite one is, chat. Mine is, of course, Glaceon because ice types are awesome, regardless of what stat modifiers keep telling me. $20 minimum donation. Thank you so much for sending this out to us, Caroline. It is incredible. Just going to set that down there. From host and friend and all-around finder of amazing prizes, Iggy Zig, we have this absolutely lovely Pikachu encyclopedia piece. It's really cool. Those aren't perlers. That's actually kind of like a hand-painted on Ash and Pikachu, from the Gen 1 games, their sprite forms, maybe Pokemon Yellow even, on top of an encyclopedia page. It's a really cool and unique mixed media art piece. $15 minimum donation until the end of Wolfenstein. So you got to get your donations in soon if you haven't already, and you could take home this piece. Super cool. Iggy, you got to tell me where you find these. I'm going to find out one day, I promise. Now, moving over to a lovely cross stitch here from Machine Gun Salary and Alton Embroidery, we have this absolutely beautiful Home Sweet Home cross stitch featuring the player's home from the Pokemon series. There is absolutely no place like home, and there's no better place than home to take this cross stitch. It's adorable. I love the Pikachu and the little heart on it. There's so much detail in this. It's incredible, and it's only a $20 minimum donation from now until the end of Wolfenstein. So make sure to get those donations in. Now, from Pincushion Cat Plushies, we have a set of 3 wonderful prizes. We have a pair of adorable Ditto plushies. They're about yay big or so. That comes in, pink, the default color of Ditto, as well as blue, the shiny alternate color of Ditto. And they're just really soft and huggable, just slightly malleable enough that, you can kind of squish them and squeeze them and hug them, but that they retain their overall shape. Super cool prize, super wonderful prize. Thank you so much to Pincushion Cat Plushies. But we also have 2 full-sized plushies of an Eevee and a Sylveon. And I wanted to take a quick look at the Eevee here because I love this Eevee. This Eevee is so adorable. I love the floof around its mane there. It just looks so soft and huggable, and I want to grab that Eevee. And you could grab that Eevee as well as a Sylveon, as well as a one-of-a-kind handmade Cubone plushie. All 3 of them separately are $25 minimum donations. So again, make sure to get those donations in. There are so many great prizes, and this next run, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, is your last chance to be entered to win them. Now, of course, I can't start talking about prizes unless I talk about the grand prize. You gotta get the grand prizes. We got 2 amazing ones for you. Both of them are $250 cumulative donations throughout the event. So that means, hey, $25 right now, $225 at any other point in the event in any other denomination that you'd like, split however you want. You get to $250, you're going to get entered into both of these amazing grand prizes. Now, first off, from our friends over at Skytech Gaming, we have a beautiful Skytech Gaming Mark 9 PC. It's incredible. You could see it in our studio during the day. It's got all kinds of lovely RGB lighting up every part of it, and it is a powerhouse of a machine. You got to head over to gamesdonequick.com, check out the tracker, and see the whole part list as well as a gallery of photos with it. It looks super cool. It runs super cool. It's definitely a machine you want. And of course, from our friends over at Heroic Replicas, and a big shout out to David Heroic Replicas for continuing to send us awesome stuff to work with and to make prizes. We have your choice of one of 18 different amazing replicas. There are so many options and choices. I'm a big Zelda fan, so when I see stuff like the Megaton Hammer here, the thing's like 35 pounds or something and 2 feet long. That's incredible. That's the kind of thing I want. The Fierce Deity Sword is one of the options. The giant double helixed blade you saw at the end of Majora's Mask 100%. The Minecraft Diamond Sword. Like, come on. That is an awesome looking sword. How could you not want something like that? Again, it's a $250 cumulative donation throughout the marathon. You get your choice of amazing customized replica. And thank you so much to our friends over at Heroic Replicas for making that possible. Anyway, that's going to just about do it for me. As always, if you have any questions, you can head over to gamesdonequick.com, check out the links on the website, and especially check out the tracker because it's got all the information you need. It's going to tell you about all the amazing speed runs that are coming up in the marathon, and there are some great ones tonight. You don't want to miss any of them. All of the upcoming incentives that you can put your donations towards. You don't have to donate specifically for the prizes. Your donations can still go towards all of the amazing incentives and bonus games that we have on offer. And of course, all of the prizes that you can win if you get those donations in. But for now, I'm really excited for Return to Castle Wolfenstein. I hope you all are out there really excited for Return to Castle Wolfenstein. And Prolix, my good friend, are you excited for Return to Castle Wolfenstein? Oh, I thought he was in there.
So, yeah, we're still at Tempest for now, but thank you so much, Cent, for showing off those wonderful prizes. But don't you worry, because Prolix is here. We're just going to get him in just a bit because my wonderful, wonderful friends of the audience, it is unfortunately my time to bid you all adieu. And this time for realsies, because that was my final hosting shift for GDQ. I just want to give an extra special thank you to everyone at Games Done Quick for giving me this chance because I am a speedrunner myself, and for having done this 1 year, to be able to have this opportunity is very humbling. Like, very. Now, of course, after this, I still have some things to do, but mostly life things. But don't you worry because I'll still be around with you guys as we keep on keeping on with whatever remains of GDQ. There's still some wonderful runs and plenty of incentives and bid wars that I didn't even get to cover. Hopefully Prolix will be able to, but special thanks to Prolix for having me, as well as the wonderful family of hosts that I've gotten to be a part of here. And I know that someday, sometime soon, we will all meet again. But until then, my name is Tempest Mask 1000, aka Steve, and I will be signing off. So, until we next see each other, ciao amici, and Tempest out. Prolix, it's all you, man.